Hey guys, it's your girl Boonie, and you're listening to episode 103 of the Boonie Breakdown podcast, your source for all things responsible and ratchet. All right, guys, welcome to this week's episode. Here we are, another Monday. You made it. You survived the weekend. This week, my guest is the homie, my partner in ratchet, Brian. But I think you guys are in for a surprise in this episode, okay? But we have Brian, and this is kind of an ode to Baltimore this episode. I should just make this whole entire episode is a Boonie's pick of the week for my city, Baltimore City, born and raised, West Baltimore, North and Pulaski. And Baltimore's been in the news this week a lot. The news cycle hit us hard. So I had to have the homie Brian come in, and we did something a little different. So I hope you guys enjoy. So just stick around for that conversation. So we're going to just hop right into this week's housekeeping. You guys have been doing super amazing for me, and I am so appreciative because you guys have really been doing the reviews for me in the Purple app. Apple Podcasts for all of you people who use Apple devices, whether that is an iPod, an iPhone, an iPad, a MacBook. If you listen through Apple Podcasts or iTunes is outdated, but you still can. That is where you can leave a review when I speak to my Apple device users. So this week, I want to shout out Holly Sue Ann, who left a review. 5 stars, and she said, I live for this blog and all the topics covered. Business advice and shenanigans or two means for a well-balanced life. Tune in and get your life from Boonie and the guest hosts who pop in from time to time. So I want to thank Holly Sue Ann for listening, for hitting those 5 stars in Apple Podcasts, and I'm putting out the appeal again for you guys to do this. Whenever you guys hit 5 stars and leave a rating for me and a review, it helps so much. If you're lazy and you don't want to type a review, you can still just go into the Purple app, Apple Podcasts, and just hit 5 stars. That'll do too. If you feel a little special because you love Boonie enough to go ahead and type some words out and leave a quality review like Holly Sue Ann did for me this week, then please, by all means, do so. I appreciate it. And you're sitting here thinking, Boonie, I don't use any Apple devices. How can I leave a review for you? You can go ahead over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Boonie Breakdown. And there you can hit 5 stars and type a lovely review for us too. A few people who have done that over there as well. And I appreciate them too. So wherever you want to leave a review, it is always welcome. I also want to talk about the feedback that I got from last week's episode with the homie, Kenny. He was on, we had that crazy Ask Boonie letter with the person who was in love with their business partner. If you have not listened to that, they have a multi-million-dollar business together. She's in love with them, and Kenny and I gave our advice to that listener. So one thing I got from last week's episode was KG is the homie for reals. Hey, wifey, don't come for me. But I love today's responsible episode, and I also love that Kenny is not reneging on his R. Kelly statements. Love the money and fuck the feels. So there you go. That is, most people said, girl, for love of money, don't fuck up your money. Multi-million-dollar business. You got to play that right. And so I even asked the Ask on Talk to Boonie Tuesdays on Instagram. I'd asked people as well how many people would give that up. Majority of the people said they're going to choose the money. So for love of money, who sent in that anonymous Ask Boonie question, I can't wait to hear your update. If you used our advice or not, we really want to know. So let us know what you did. All right, guys, you know the deal by now. I really hope by now that you are following us on social media. We are most active on Instagram. If this is your first time listening, you can head on over to Instagram at The Boonie Breakdown. Hit follow. On Facebook at The Boonie Breakdown. And on Twitter, just Boonie Breakdown. And when you're sharing this episode on all social media, please use the hashtag the Boonie Breakdown or hashtag PODIN, PODIN. It helps. You guys know if your page is open, I will always communicate or reshare. I got a little nasty DM the other day because I didn't share someone who took a screenshot of when they were listening. And as I always say, if your page is locked, I can't see it. So I do still appreciate you very much sharing what you're listening to your network and putting the word out. That helps so much, guys, when you are using your capital to recommend and show others what you're listening to. And you never know, even if I get one new listener, that is one new listener that I didn't have before. So again, hashtags the Boonie Breakdown, hashtag PODIN. So that is it for me for the opening this week. So let's get ready to break it down. All right, guys, it's your girl Boonie, and I have my favorite person is here today. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Boonie.
How are you?
I'm good. What's up, guys? How y'all doing out there? Hope you're listening somewhere comfortable, locked in at your desk, in your car, somewhere safe.
Yeah.
Somewhere safe.
And I hope they got their tickets for the Philly show.
Yes.
Because we're like 2 weeks out.
Yeah, this was perfect timing. I was just sitting there thinking, like, you know what? We're 2 weeks out from Philly. This will be a good time to like kind of rev that up a little bit.
I think so. I feel like I do have space if I go over. I try not to make it like too cramped, but I could probably go over a little bit. I feel like we're going to sell out. Niggas be last minute.
Mm-hmm.
So they just got paid this Friday, this weekend. So I'll probably get some more this weekend. And then, of course, next week. And then the stragglers the day before are going to be hitting me up for tickets.
Exactly.
So. And we're staying overnight. Are you staying overnight? Because I'm
definitely staying overnight.
Okay, I just booked my hotel. I'll tell you where I'm staying. But
I got this one hotel.
We're gonna go.
I'm not telling anybody. I got this one hotel off a Hotel Tonight last time, and it was like $120, and it was a really good hotel. So I want to.
Was it one of the Kempton ones?
No, but the Kempton ones are really nice. I got friends and family that work for Kempton, and even with the discount, shit was still like $260 for a night. I'm like, damn.
Damn.
But the Kempton one, I can't think of the name of it, but it's really nice because it's got the rooftop. They had a rooftop party there that night. So it would have been nice because I would have been staying in the same hotel. But yeah, it's a nice Kempton up there with a rooftop bar, and they had a party there.
Is that the Monaco one?
It was the Monaco.
Yeah.
It was. There's another one too.
It is because it's one over in like Rittenhouse Square.
Yeah,
yeah. I can't remember the name of that one.
Yep. It was Monaco. Yeah, it was cool.
Sure.
I love Philly.
I love Philly too, and so all my Temple people, to you, motherfucker, I'm excited because this is the first time we're gonna take it on the road. So this is kind of the test if I'm gonna do this shit again.
I wish I had a beard when I lived in Philly.
Why? All the niggas had beards in Philly.
Yeah, and I was like, people thought I was fucking police or something. Like, what you, FBI? Like, you the police? Like, I had no facial hair. Like, that was like the moment in my life where I'm like, like everything I'm doing is for the future. You know what I mean? I was 22.
Okay.
I had just got a job with Pfizer. It was a very military-based company. Everything was like very stringent, very strict, which was good because it set the foundation for my career. So people don't know, like, outside of this shit, I am really like a professional. but like that set the stage for my career. So I had no facial hair. Like I had to dress a certain, like, and it was cool because I was coming from undergrad and you just think like, this is how it has to be. But then every company I worked with after that didn't care if I had a beard. You know what I mean? But that company was so damn like straight laced, it was out of the norm to see anybody with any facial hair.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm like, shit, 22. Where was I 22? That seems so long ago.
You might have been in Philly.
No, I graduated because I have a late birthday. So I was 21. I didn't stay in Philly too long after college.
No. When I was 22,
Oh, so how?
you was probably just getting to Philly.
Oh, how many years older? You're right. I probably was just getting to Philly.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I went to Philly in 02.
Yeah, that's when I moved to Philly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Look, you a little
Man,
older.
and I was on the campus trying to pick them off too. I was literally on the campus. I was at the SG Rose probate. I was out there for a couple things. Like I was up there like a couple times. Like I got phone calls like, "Oh yeah, this going on up at Temple. Let's go up there." I'm like, "Oh yeah."
It's so funny because I always look back like, damn, you dummy. I feel like I wasted my freshman year because I was still in love with my high school boo.
He was coming home.
Yeah, we were coming home.
That's what people do. I mean, that's what people do. I wasted my time in Philly because I was throwing parties in Baltimore, and Nick, who was at the time, you know, we were best friends, but we hadn't been in the same city for almost 5 years. So we only hung out in the summers. And he was like, "Yo, I just took a job coming back home." And I'm like, "That's what's up." But I just took a job in High Point, North Carolina. And then they turned around and called back and was like, "Do you want to go to Philly instead of High Point, North Carolina?" I was like, "Fuck yeah." So I literally came home every weekend. And I had custody of my 15-year-old cousin when I was 22. So I came home on the weekend so that he could be with his mom and his family. It was more of a situation where like I just had to get him out of Baltimore.
Gotcha. Yeah. You know, I feel like I wasted that, but I had a good ass time because we definitely did. I went to a part every single weekend that I was there. I was at a party. And being young, like my first semester in Philly, I was still 17. So I couldn't even get into places still, like passing the fake ID. I had a horrible fake ID that got taken like 4 times. I was just stopped wasting money on it. Like, all right, bitch, you be 18 in December. Like,
but no, we had a good time though. Like, I mean, I will say, like, I did have good Philly experiences. Like, we went to Bluesettes every Thursday. So we went to Bluesettes every Thursday. We was in Old City every Thursday night. So my buddy went to Drexel, and he was from Baltimore. And once I linked up with him, I mean, we ran the streets every Thursday. I mean, every Thursday. It was at Bluesettes. We was in Old City. If I stayed up
Did you ever go to that club, Transit?
No. I did go. I think I did go there one time. They used to always be on the radio, but I used to go to I went to Denim and I went to Suede a couple times.
Oh, I remember trying to get into
They were like the nice little posh place, and then I got in there and one of the higher ups from my company was there, and they had me drinking Jaeger, and I had never drank Jaeger. It was disgusting. And I fell asleep in the VIP, and they took a picture of me, and they like shared that shit at a work meeting. You know how they so annoying.
Oh, all right. So yeah, get your tickets to Philly. We're gonna be there. We're gonna go out drinking and partying and shit somewhere afterwards. I haven't been on the Philly nightlife scene in a long time, so I got some people looking into where we should go who are from there, who live there, etc. Yep. So if you come to the show, of course we'll share it.
Yeah, I got some lounges that I've been following since the Roots picnic.
Okay.
I've been trying to keep up with like a couple events going on out there and stuff like that because I'd rather drive to Philly than to DC. I fucking hate DC.
Well, you know, DC is like very pretentious. Like, and
it's fun. You got a valet everywhere you go.
Yeah, it is expensive. Which is why I always say Philly is just a bigger Baltimore. Which is why I probably like Philly better than DC.
Like Philly, I could just pull up and I know my way around.
Exactly.
DC, I'm gonna get lost.
Well, DC, like, if you get one of them roundabouts, you make one wrong turn. You supposed to be in Northeast, but now you in Southeast.
And the GPS don't be like on point enough.
No.
So it'd be like turn right and you just passed it, like motherfucker. So you need to go back around the roundabout and you looking like, is it
this one? Or I hate the GPS. It'd be like into the circle and exit at the 11th exit. And I'm like, now I gotta sit here and count the streets. Like, it's too much.
Yeah. And then it'd be like, turn right. And you'd be like, I just fucking passed it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't fucking
So
stand
yeah, I fuck with Philly. And like I said, I really do think it's just a bigger Baltimore. And I feel like because people had Baltimore had a tough week this week on social media. One, because people were trying to talk about our accents and said it was the ugliest accent in the country. And I feel like that's some bullshit.
I think the difference is listening to you and I talk, we don't sound like most Baltimore people.
We don't, but I
And
can go there if you get me angry.
right, but it comes out like in certain things that we say. But
Yes.
more over people who have gone to school with us, I'm sure you've gotten it, I've gotten it. You from Baltimore? You don't sound like you're from Baltimore. You say Baltimore. Like you don't say Baltimore or you know, like sometimes when you're around that element, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, this really is another city. But because we
It
got so
is.
many friends, but we got so many friends who are like educated and do so many different things that we don't really be around that element. We take for granted how advanced our circle is. And it's not to knock anybody who's
I mean, it's
it's just
true.
that we just we are part of a different Baltimore and I just have to accept that. Like the more and more I realize, yo, I'm not as Baltimore as I think. Like when you go to
Now, don't get me look. Now, don't get me wrong. I can definitely be a two, dude, through, Doug. I don't say Doug that because that bothers me.
right.
But you might catch the two and the do sometimes. But I'm not. I'm not going to say Doug because that's just no.
Yeah. Like that it's just certain things that just you be around and you be like sometimes I might like just be in a barbershop or I might be like somewhere
Yes.
and it's like
And you get familiar, and yes, because the people on here tell me the only time they really hear my Baltimore accent when they listen. Somebody wrote me a message one time, and they said it's like usually when I'm recording with Kenny, and I'm like, okay, that's just because it's familiar, so I
yeah.
might let my voice relax a little bit.
Yeah. So that's the thing where we are Baltimore. We're and that's the thing. Like my post I just made. So I was saying like the thing is I got made in Baltimore like tatted on my stomach and it's not
You do.
it's not finished because the logo of my brand was supposed to be like encompassed in that. Now, one of the reasons why I started the whole Made in Baltimore campaign was because it wasn't just about the products being made here, manufactured, sold here. It's more about being made in Baltimore from from a physical sense. Like growing up here, people are like, oh, you can make it in New York. You can man, you fucking make it in Baltimore. You made it because yeah, because
That's some real
it's
shit
such a small city, and it's a city of neighborhoods. You can literally be in a decent neighborhood and walk 2 feet, and next thing you know, you
in the
like
hood. That's what I said. It's a
like
checkerboard.
the
It,
young
it really is.
yeah.
It,
So like I said, like the young people say, 10 toes down, got it out the mud. Look, you ain't have to grow up like in the worst conditions because you turned around and you was
yep.
fucking in it, and you always had a choice of a friend who was like, "Yo, you trying to do this or you trying to do that?" And you just be like, "No, I'm gonna stay with the school shit," because you knew like that was a lane you didn't want to go in, but like at any moment, being from here, you just make that one phone call and you could get everything fucked up for
Pretty
somebody.
much.
like
Pretty much. And
yeah, so it's
it's
like
literally
we never too far. You never too far from it.
never,
So
ever, ever.
the,
And I tell people that all the time because I think like, oh, okay. Brian always joked me because I went to private school, right? So I went to private school my whole life, but I grew up in West Baltimore, literally North and Pulaski. Y'all saw in the riots that CBS that was on flames. Like I grew up 3 street lights west of that shit, right? For my entire life. But then I went to school out in the county at this ritzy white private school. So I had the duality of Baltimore every single fucking day, right? So then I come home and
he
people
was
like,
like the girl on The Hate You Give.
literally,
Like,
like I
I
come
can't
home.
go off with nobody because then they're gonna be like, she's the black girl, and then I don't want to be lose my friends at home. Yeah, that was real though.
It was real. Like as I got older, people will be like, "Oh, she thinks she better than us because she go to the white school." No, I don't. I still live fucking next door to you, bitch. Like, how do you think I'm better? Like, why do I think I'm better than you? And so, but I am blessed that I had a grandmother who had the ability to be like, "Nope, you can't go to Walbrook. You gotta go out here, and we gonna figure out a way. We gonna get you this financial aid, and I'm gonna pay the rest, right? And I know the people next door did not have a grandmother like that, right? So I am blessed in that regard. I totally admit it. But
and I went to private school. I went to private school as well. Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. Compared to a lot of the other schools in the
rest of the schools, yeah,
is considered a private school because they felt like we were preppy. Like if you went to a zone school, like all them poly niggas, they preppy as shit. They got wear collar shirts, like they think they the shit. Like, and you know what? We did because we knew we were smart, but we also knew we were well rounded. So it was like, you know, shit, like poly niggas, we was just regular dudes. Like it wasn't nothing different except we were smart. And people came from all over. It was Cherry Hill, East Side, West Side, down. You name it. Like from every neighborhood, it was people from all walks of life. It's just that we were just smart, and that's all it was. The difference was, and I mean, we had people selling fucking dope. Nigga got locked up with like 70 pills in his locker. Like we had all of that shit. Like we had people who did everything. It's just that they were smart. I mean, we still got people who right now you look up and be like, yeah, yo went to poly. Oh yeah. But the thing is like we just were smart. And that don't mean anything. Like it's the smartest of the smart, but it's still people who make bad decisions, still people from the hood, wherever they from. And that give you that well-rounded, like, you know, it just forms you because you're like, okay, I'm from here. Oh, I know such and such that live down the hill. He went to school with me. So now I'm down the hill. I got friends here. I got friends there. So it's a citywide school, but for people who are not from here, if you ever heard somebody say they're from Poly or City, those were like the two best schools. But Poly was more like Duke, and City was like University of North Carolina. Like they got the stack houses and the Rasheed Wallace's. Duke had the Grant Hills, the preppy guys. So that's the reputation that we had, even though we wasn't all preppy, but we did it. So it's like we looked at like private school motherfuckers, but we got to get invited to the private school dances. And
you did because at our school, like
going there and finger pop all of St. Paul's girls, friends girls. I used to finger pop so many girls at them dances. Them little
not finger pop, like smell my finger, yo.
Them little Catholic school girls, they was freaks. Like that was always the thing. Like, yo, she go to Catholic.
But it's true because at our parties, only could come was Poly and City. I don't even think Weston could come to our parties.
Yeah, it was like, yo, we would just see.
But that might have been by design because it's like we already got enough bitches. So
yeah. Like, yo, like we would be on that shit heavy. Like, oh shit, friends got like we felt like, you know, we were like them guys because y'all didn't want to date a private school guy. So it was like, oh, he go to school in the city. You know what I mean? Like, oh
snap.
Right. Like, I don't want no dude from Gilman. I don't want nobody who go to Friends. You know, that parents got
definitely not friends.
Like my parents.
Definitely not friends. Yo, the Friends kids were just very weird to me. So yeah, I ain't really fuck with Friends, but their Black Awareness Club party was popping. Can't lie. Yeah. So and the funny thing, Black Awareness Club, like that's the kind of school I went to.
Right. So back to the topic. Baltimore had a rough week. So the accent thing
was
it's true, but I don't think it's the ugliest. It's true, but I don't think it's ugly.
Boston exists. What the fuck?
That shit, that shit is horrible. I hate it.
I literally can't think of an accent worse than Boston.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, it really is offensive. I'll say like my favorite accent is New Orleans.
Yeah, I love it. I love
how they say baby. They baby. Like I don't even know how they say it, but it just sounds so good.
Like baby.
I love it.
But you know dudes here now saying that?
That's whack.
Yo, I was in a barbershop one day and dude like, what's up, baby? I'm like, yo, nigga, like, are you serious? Like, you're not from New Orleans. And I heard people saying it and it's like, yo, that's not cool. That's not cool. Some stuff like you can't follow. And I hate when I see Baltimore niggas with New York hats on. Like if you're listening to this, and the difference is if you went to college, you won't do it. If you ain't go to college, you're okay with it. Like because if you went to college, and especially in this area, you know that it's territorial. Philly, Baltimore,
it
DC,
is.
And like
the New York coalition at Temple was deep.
Like you never wanted to be caught with a do-rag and a fucking New York hat on at Morgan and you was from Baltimore. Like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, no, same. Like My best friend, my roommate 4 years from the Bronx, the New York coalition was heavy and it was deep. And then they was split because you get the niggas from the Bronx, you the niggas from Harlem, niggas from Brooklyn.
It was so annoying though. Like I love all my New York friends, but y'all annoying. Like y'all so fucking extra. Like everything that y'all did, y'all come across campus like, yo, what's good, B? Word is bond? Fucking class? Like, yo, you going to class sign or you going to hang out on the bridge? Like, you could have said that shit. Like, yo, you stay on the bridge? Like, you got to be so extra with your do-rag on and your fucking big-ass hat and the shit not sitting on the top of your head. And then you got to, like, they're just so fucking annoying.
And I will say, too, their fashion, because I remember this one girl, she always wore polo and jeans. And then her belt, she always had a Coach leather belt that had to match her Jordans, but then she would also have like a matching backpack. Like it was,
Yeah.
But when you look at it, looking back at it, it looks so country because it's like, why are you so matchy matchy?
But country as shit, but you couldn't tell them nothing. Like they felt like just so fly. And it was like the girls was always had that same fucking bang, like that same fucking dude,
and
fucking dude with the bang, and then it'd be like the fucking door knocker earrings, and it's like, yo, y'all so the same. Like all y'all look like Remy Ma. Like, like find me a sexy New York girl. Find me one. Like I don't want my girl with fucking Tim's on or fucking what I can't think of the name of the boots, but they like you always had on boots. Like if you're a sexy New York girl, come up to me at the fucking show so I can see you outside of some other shit. Like, do y'all wear regular shit now or y'all still dressing like that?
They do. I do think, I feel like, maybe that was the style then, the early 2000s. I also feel like the 2000s had a weird style. Like,
it was a Leah.
Because like niggas was in all those jerseys and the white tees.
Too, where girls was wearing like big ass baggy pants with fucking boxers under. I'm glad that's
So that late 90s, early 2000s, the style was very interesting. It was different. And then so Baltimore, and now your man in the White House went ham on Baltimore yesterday on Twitter, which has now sparked out. We are Baltimore. It's a hashtag and shit.
And I feel like that's necessary. Now, what I will say is, I feel like, from a city government standpoint, I have friends who are part of the city government and who have ran and different things like that. So I'm biased in certain instances, but this city, a lot of things need to change with the way leadership is run. You seen Pugh win the last election. That was based solely off of it's her turn now. And if you're younger and you're not and you're running, you got to wait your turn. Baltimore has had this long standing, you wait your turn. You get the blessing of Elijah. You get the blessing of this person. You get the blessing of that person. You can win. But you got to go to these same old people with the same old thoughts. Now, do I have issues with some of the things that maybe Elijah Cummings and some of these representatives could have done? Yeah, but I fucking live here. So I feel like when it's at my doorstep and the shit is on my porch, I can talk about it. But if you're in the fucking White House and you ain't never came to Baltimore and you ain't never been around this shit and you don't never fucking understand it, because you got to really live here to understand this shit. Like you got to live here to understand the 300 murders, the senseless killings, like the way kids live, the poverty, and see the shit. Like, so yeah, if you never lived here, don't fucking talk about it. Now, if you fucking been here, yeah, I'll let you talk about Elijah Cummings. I'll let you talk about fucking anybody you want except the Mosbys. I'm a beef with you, but at the end of the day, like it's a discussion that need to be had. But coming from him and the way that he put it, no, that's not cool. Now, if he put it in a different light, like, okay, some of these inner cities are dealing with so many issues. When we look at it, it's been the same congressman there for years. Why hasn't anything changed? But to say like no human being would want to live there, like the fuck? Like,
yeah, I mean, it was totally drenched in racism, right? That's what he does. And so like my thing is like I really just ignore him. Like I just can't even engage with what he says. I think I was more outraged by some of the stuff I was seeing for now. Okay, now everybody want to rep Baltimore, right? So now I'm seeing, especially I just said where I went to school. So I'm on Facebook and I'm seeing people share all these pictures like, no, this is Baltimore. And so the shit he said was true. Yes, it is crime. It is blight. All that shit is affecting not just West Baltimore, but other parts of the city as well.
I
But these,
mean, Cummins represents a large part of the
he
city, though. I
does.
mean,
He
it's not just
does
the lowest.
Cockeysville. He has Ellicott City. He has
Yeah, he
all
got
that
a lot.
stuff. So
Yeah, a
that's
lot.
he has like Ellicott. What was it? Columbia was like the best place to live in America last year. Like, so he has his district really goes from the hood to very affluent communities. So, but that goes back to how Baltimore is. You really can go 2 blocks and it's a $500,000 house, and then 2 blocks over it is completely 20 abandoned buildings. But I'm just saying, like, to just say like this is Baltimore too and show the good side, like, I don't feel like that's the answer. And to your point too, like you mentioned some of your friends who have stepped up and said, all right, I'm gonna step into the political arena and I'm gonna do the work that is required. Cool. But I also feel like it's all people who are too afraid to go into the city who will sit 15 minutes away and complain and do nothing either. So, like, you can't have it both ways. You can't get mad when somebody criticizes your city, but you ain't doing a goddamn thing with your time and or your money to help somebody who is willing to do it, right? So, if you're too afraid to go into those neighborhoods, then write somebody a fucking check who's doing the work. Because I know a lot of people who be rolling up their sleeves, doing a hell of a lot of work, mentor a kid. I mean, it's so many ways you can do something to make the change, right? But you just rather share a picture of the harbor and like, this is Baltimore. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
So,
that's not really. And the thing is, like I said, you don't realize it until you're in it. Now you do a lot with Delta, and I know I've done things where we've had our Omega Academy, and we've had and you down there in the trenches, and you literally see it. Like we go out
yep.
and we'll clean like the frat house and we'll clean up in front of it. And then the next day somebody just take a chicken box and just throw it right in the fucking street, but you live right across the street. Like it's your neighborhood. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's a mentality like that if you're willing to just throw trash in your street or you're willing to just not give a fuck, like what are you saying? And but when you live next door to 3 abandoned houses, what can I expect? So it's like
Exactly.
I almost
Yeah.
like you become a product of your environment. Now I've been to Matthew Henson and read to those kids, and it was times when I had to like kick a kid out. Like, yo, will you shut the fuck up? Like the one little kid was like, "What are those?" I was like, "Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! These are my fucking dress shoes. Yeah, they fucking ugly. And I fucking had these bitches for fucking 3 years. There's a hole on the bottom, but you get the fuck out for trying to be funny. Because that was me. A kid trying to be fucking funny. So I had to make an example out of his little ass. But you realize like how hard it is to be in a classroom when you got 40 fucking kids and your 2 kids have fucking
Mm-hmm.
behavior issues, ADHD, undiagnosed mental health issues. They coming from fucking home where they don't have the proper fucking
It's
yeah, they
fucking
got
lead
lead
paint
paint,
and
but they
shit.
ain't
Like,
even got the proper, health. It was the sanitation or whatever the word I'm looking for. Fucking, they not even like they
yeah.
don't even smell right. Like you're dealing with issues that are beyond just education. Then you're dealing with the heat not working, and you're dealing with the conditions of the school, the books. So yes, we do need to know where the money is going. But is it to say, oh, it's all Elijah Cummings' fault? No, because it trickles down to so many different people, the
No.
superintendents, the mayors, the same people who stay in power, who keep building up Harbor East, but not East Baltimore, or building up downtown.
Oh,
Exactly.
Port
Because when it comes
Covington.
time
Yep.
to put in another tourist attraction, yes, let's do it. But now,
They'll find $800 million.
so it's like now when you got 10 teenagers beating up a man at the harbor and his wife and his family for no reason. Well, guess what? The money that you've been spending to build this up and not spending there, guess what? These kids don't give a fuck.
Yep.
So now
There you
it's like
go.
when the rubber meets the road. You seen it at the Freddie Gray stuff. It was like these are a whole generation that's been neglected. They wasn't just marching for Freddie Gray. These were people who were marching because they know that
They were fed the
yeah,
fuck
they
up.
know
Yeah.
like y'all don't give a fuck about us. Like y'all don't give a fuck about us, and we don't even know why we marching, but we just here to tear some shit up because we fucking angry. And until that type of stuff is addressed, yes, it's going to be an issue. But like I'll go back to my original point. You don't have the fucking right to say it. And somebody could easily be like, well, why the fuck somebody got to live there to say it? It's fucked up. No, if you're not doing the work, you're not part of the solution. Shut the fuck up. And that goes for any
And
city,
that's how,
any arena, anything. If you're not part of it, shut the fuck up. If you don't fucking know about gangs and you don't know about fucking drugs and you don't know about how these people feed their families, or you don't know about your mother being on crack or looking out the fucking window and you know your mother in the alley sucking dick, shut the fuck up. You don't know nothing about that.
You don't. And it is, to your point, like you said earlier, like, okay, why should I care about my neighborhood when the city is letting 6 houses literally collapse within themselves? And
Yeah.
so I have, she was actually on the podcast, Nika, but she didn't talk about that. We were talking about something else. But she runs a great organization called Fight Blight Be More, and that's literally all she does. Is like she walks these neighborhoods. She calls them hood hikes, and she does hood hikes. She goes on Facebook Live. She will put an address up. She fights the city. Like, this house literally could fall on a child. Like, do something about this. That's all she does. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're listening to this and you're in fucking Philadelphia and you're, I don't know, Texas somewhere, and you're like, oh, I want to help Baltimore, you could, I could give you a list of organizations that people who are doing dope ass shit that you could give a donation to and help them turn it around. But like Brian said, you can't be the one talking shit. So
Right.
it really just burns me up when I see people, because they be too fucking afraid to leave the white L of Baltimore, the 83 corridor in downtown. That's all they say.
Yeah.
And that's all they want to show. And that shit is not real life. Not everybody in Baltimore lives in a fucking $600,000 house and has a boat in the harbor. Like, it's just not Baltimore.
Yeah.
And it trickles over even for us, because I was out this weekend, did like a little happy hour joint, and we went to a space. Baltimore is very socially segregated as well. And the spot we went to, dope spot on the water. You see people on their boats, very cute. But they're looking at us like, what are these niggas doing in here?
Right.
Like, how'd they find out about this?
Yeah.
We're literally the only black people in here. Everybody else is white. And we wanted to move on to the next spot. And I'm sitting here like, where the fuck downtown can we go that we can see people that look like us, our same age, and listen to music that we want to hear? There is nowhere to go.
That's why, see, this is my argument when people say, oh, Atlanta, everybody will move to Atlanta. Guess what? If I'm in Atlanta, there's business owners and people who look like me, who play music that I like, and there's 1,000 places to go. There's not one place where you can go and can't walk next door and walk in without being hit with a cover. A Baltimore black spot, you getting hit with a fucking cover at the door. You're going to pay 20 or 15 or 10 just to walk in that door to hear that music. And then your service is not going to be that great. And unfortunately, most times the place ain't even black owned. So it's like, it's a catch-22. Now, we do a lot of they shit. We find out about it and we do it, and they be looking like, well, what the fuck he doing here? What the fuck
I mean, it really is like, how did they find out?
Like, it's very socially segregated.
It is. And I shouldn't have to go. Like, the only thing I could literally think of, like, Baltimore's nightlife scene is very event driven. So it'd be like, oh, that white party. Oh, that rooftop party.
It's promoter driven. It's very promoter driven.
But it's no location.
Instagram to be like, oh, where the heck are at tonight? Yeah. Oh, this person having something? Oh, you got to wear all white? Oh, you got to dress up? Like, it's not.
I literally was at
a loss. Like another city, like a Houston, Atlanta, Philly, where you could just walk into a spot and there's a lounge and you're like, hey, let's sit right here. Let's smoke hookah.
And then, like you said, like, okay, I'm dressed down. I'm just in short. I look nice, but I'm not dressed up to go to a club. Like, it's nowhere to go. And it pissed me off. Like, the only thing I could think of was like, all right, we go to Dragon, you go to Identity, but literally 2 people got shot there last week, right?
And that's the thing. Like, I don't want to go, like, I don't really go out like that no more. I'm on record for being like a person who just does not go out. And that's part of the reason, because I don't want to be somewhere where, shit pop off and at my funeral, they like, well, Brian was at Golden Dragon and some shit happened.
He got shot in the parking lot.
Well, what the fuck was he there for? But at the end of the day, I like Chinese food. I like ratchet music. I like drinks. And don't think, like, people start to take it as like, oh, you scared to do this. Like, I didn't go to the fight. Now, I was happy to say my city had a successful fight. I
was happy to hear that too. It looked good on TV.
Yeah, it looked really good. It was, definitely a majority black crowd, and it seemed like everything went well. Now, given like a murder that happened early in the week with one of the guys who cut hair, who I followed.
And I was just like fucking
that, like, kind of fucked me up to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay my ass home. because it's just too much shit going on. And then I seen like a couple Murder Inc. videos of kids beating up people. And that's the thing. Like somebody posted a meme, my cousin posted a meme and said, don't think I'm scary because I don't want to go certain places. Nigga, I will kill you. And it was like, that's the fucking mentality where it's like, I don't want to be in a position where it's me or you. I really don't want to have to go somewhere where I got to take my gun with me. And now I'm on the news because I done fucking killed one of your kids or killed some nigga trying to rob me for the $20 cash I got because I look like I got something or want my chain.
I literally don't understand why people still rob people because who carries who carries cash?
I'd be amazed when I see somebody rob the fucking Burger King or a McDonald's or some shit like that.
I'm like, everybody pays a car. Like, what are you doing?
So much money anyway. Like, I'm like, look, if you're gonna go to jail for robbing somebody, hit that motherfucking bank. Like,
exactly. Get a couple
like, you going to jail for robbing somebody in Fair Hill coming out of a fucking bar. Like, you ain't even get nothing, and now they gonna find you because you robbed a white person. Like,
and especially I feel bad now for those two boys who, of course, they wouldn't know because I'm sure they don't look at the news. They just saw some dopey looking white boy, and turns out he was the fucking deputy commissioner of the police department.
They can't get them no extra time, but they're going to make sure that they prosecute them to the fullest extent.
I'm sure, yeah. But I'm just like, damn, 16.
And the thing is like, I feel so conflicted on charging kids as adults, but some stuff that you do is just fucking ridiculous. Like the 15-year-old that beat the pistol whipped the woman who had the baby.
Yeah, I couldn't even. I just couldn't even click on it.
The 15-year-old girl pistol whipped the lady with the baby in her arms.
Jesus
and
Christ!
The baby was like, so the 15-year-old who pistol whipped her with the BB gun did not get charged as an adult. The other people did. So I posted a comment on Murder Inc. like, if you old enough to pistol whip, you old enough to pussy lick. And I came back to my phone. I had like over 200 likes. And it was people who didn't know me, like, laugh out loud. You're right, though. And I was just like, no, for real, because I was like, you know what? You know what to set these fucking kids straight? Unfortunately, when you get in that system with fucking real men, and that's when shit happens bad for you. But these kids feel like, oh, I'm a juvenile. I can do this. And these fucking kids are out of fucking control in Baltimore. Like, they are all over the country. I see the what's the name of the shit in Philly that they be doing real heavy on South Street? It's like a riot. They do like so they'll go in like 50 deep and just raid a store.
Oh yeah, they did at the Walgreens. I did see that. Yeah,
they just did it like recently. It was on South
Street.
Were you
stealing fucking potato chips? Like what?
Yeah, taking potato chips, sodas, and they ramsack you, and it's fun to them. But at the end of the day, like, that shit is like fucked up because it's like you're a business owner. You know, in your own right, with your podcast and the things that you sell. You know, I'm a business owner. Like, nobody wants to work hard for anything and then have it taken away because somebody can't control their fucking kids. Now, we did dumb shit. We did a lot of dumb shit. But these kids are doing shit like that's just
it's like stupid. It's stupid, like, and it's literally decisions that, like, I keep trying to tell like the girls I mentor, even my little brother who ain't that little, but like, one little small decision can change the trajectory of your life, right? So, like, your whole entire life. So, yeah, it's fun in the moment. Like, we ran in there and smashed something. But what if it was an undercover cop in there and they just started shooting?
Yeah.
Right? Like, now, like, the whole situation just changed.
Now it's like,
something you thought was fun.
A good kid. You know, he went to this school and that whole narrative, and people want to march because they're like, oh, well, he got killed. And he didn't have a real gun. It was a BB. No, at the end of the day, like, yo, motherfuckers gotta get control over their children. Like, these kids are, like, it was 5 a.m, the one video where the kids beat up the man, stomped him in his head, took his car keys. Like, what the fuck? 5 a.m. Y'all on scooters. Y'all on the little dumbass city scooters.
The line bikes.
Yo, I swear, but... All right, I'm done on my soapbox about Baltimore. I know some people listening to this shit like, what the fuck?
But I mean, I know, but it could be applied, I'm sure, to Philly, to Houston.
Licking pussy. I'm ready.
They mad at us. Buy a ticket to the live show, niggas.
Right. Buy a ticket to the live show. Put your little...
you will get all of the ratchet, dick sucking, all that shit there. Yo, I don't even think, because I feel like it's my first show off on the road. I don't think people were prepared for what I'm like in my mind, like planning
I'm
to
a
do.
I don't know what you're planning to do, but I will buy somebody a ticket to the live show if they can send me a DM letting me know that they've purchased a stay in vibrator that they're going to wear to the live show.
Do you want the remote?
Yes.
Yo, this would be fucking
I'm gonna stay
amazing.
like, oh shit.
Yo, if you do this, somebody has to do this. Somebody takes Brian's charge, because I feel like this would be amazing if he's on stage and he's controlling your vibrator.
I'll be mad that I don't have the app name for all of the people who win the magic wands, because I'll be trying to like figure out who had them and just like their posts have changed, like their mood, their attitude. Like now,
Well, I do get a few testimonials from people. Someone who won one of the new and improved ones at the Baltimore show said, well, you were right, because they thought they could handle because this one goes up to 4 speeds, and it tells you on the box like the speed levels. And so she thought she was a big girl and did the ultra level, which is the highest speed. And she's like, I see how you said you almost had an aneurysm. I told you, I warned y'all. I tried to tell you. You just cannot jump to that. I don't think you can use that high speed on this new one. Like, that really is for your muscle. That's the only time I used it, was when I fucked up my hamstring doing splits and shit. That is literally the only time I've used it.
right, right. And that's the thing, like, shit is real. Like, people be thinking like masturbation is all fun and games until it really fuck you up. Like, I've had incidents where I was like trying to go raw and I just got too rough with my hands and I was like paid for it. Like, shit is real. Like, you gotta slow down.
So you don't use lubricant when you masturbate?
I do now, but I had times when I was on like my second or third time in the day and my shit was raw, and it was like when it came time to get some pussy, like, oh, I'm shut down.
You fucked yourself up.
I mean, this was years ago when I used to be like, fuck it, like always. Like now it's like at this point, some days like I just don't even fucking. I'd be like, man, I'm definitely getting old because I'm just not horny today. I just want to go to sleep. But whenever
I wouldn't even believe you.
I'm dead fucking serious. Like people will be thinking like, oh yeah, something. No, I'm fucking old. Like I'm tired. Like nah.
Also, people were very appreciative of me posting your little thirst trap, because you've been thirst trapping a lot. If you don't follow Brian on Instagram, he has been thirst trapping a lot in his Insta stories, his little workout videos. He was out in the heat that day at the wine festival, had his shirt off and shit. But people really appreciated me sharing that picture of you sitting in the chair, and I think you have some new fans.
I swear
of your
you could not
balls.
see nothing. I'm telling you.
You could see a ball sitting there.
Oh my god.
I
It
saw
wasn't
it.
because I had dark underwear on, so you couldn't even tell.
I couldn't see your actual ball, but I could see like a lump.
That was just the gray sweat shorts lumping together. But the whole thing is, I dedicated myself for these next. So I said, okay, look. I said, look, you got 2 months. You got 2 months till your birthday, and I was like, 2 months to 40. You got to be your best version of yourself come 40. So I've literally been in the gym killing myself every day. I only drink Friday and Saturday, and
Okay.
I was like, I'm only drinking on the weekends. But Monday through Thursday, I'm not smoking no cigars. I'm not drinking heavy. Like I was drinking every night, like drinking and smoking. And I looked up and I had gained like 20, 25 pounds. But I had also injured myself playing softball. So we leave softball. We got a cooler full of beer. We got liquor. Then I go to the cigar shop. So I'm smoking and I'm drinking. And I'm just like pulling over at Wendy's. I'm stopping at fucking Greek Village, getting a sub. So it was like just bad habits all around the board. But that's what the warm weather do to you. You know, you out later, you're doing shit. And I was just like, yo, I'm about to be 40. And I was like, I can't. Like I really want to be that guy when be like, oh, I'm 40, and people be like, this is what 40 looks like, but they look like shit. Like I really want to be like, I'm like, this is 40, and people be like, oh, you look good. Like I wanna look back at older pictures and be like, I'm getting better. Like I look better now.
Yeah, you're getting aging as
So
you're
it's like
aging. Okay.
mentally, I'm just locked into the gym. I know I still got about 45, yeah, about 45 days till I'm 40. And like, that's good time to really like tone up. And
Oh, where's the
I don't
party?
know. It's a whole lot of crazy stuff going on. So some of the stuff that I wanted to do, I just couldn't really pull off. But this Friday, of course, the anniversary party will be lit at Homemade. It's
Yes,
tight, it's crouchy, but outside, it'll be tables
I'll
outside.
I'll
There'll
be
be a
there.
food truck outside. It's gonna be a whole scene. You know, people gonna pull up and be like, "Damn,
Are we gonna have a DJ?
yes, it's gonna be a DJ, Prince of Pete's, my man Ashanti, who is a pediatrician. He's on Fox 45 all the damn time, talking about pediatrician stuff for your kids. He's dope as shit. He went to Howard, and he has a love for DJing, and he's just like, yo, this is just my passion. Like he don't hit you over your head. The DJ, he loved doing it. Like I'm a pediatrician.
He's a good
Yeah,
DJ
I'm a fucking
too.
pediatrician, but this is some shit I love. And that's just dope when people find like a passion that's totally different from what they do. And people shocked that they just want to play trap music and put in fucking go on the weekend and all of that shit and just have a good time, because that's the thing that makes us who we are. We're so multifaceted and talented that nobody can put you in a box. So I love that shit. Like I can't wait till Friday. It's gonna be a really good night. Have a lot of my products
It
there.
is.
3 years. Um,
Congratulations.
thanks. And it's like I really want to thank like the people in this city. Like I said, it's Baltimore, made in Baltimore. Like it's just
And that's the one thing. Baltimore supports its own though.
yeah. So and it's funny because I still talk about how I haven't tapped into the other Baltimore. Now
It's hard.
you tap into the other Baltimore. It's a little different. Now you gotta like kill somebody or you gotta like do some time, and then niggas be like, oh yeah, that's my man. But like if you're just like positive and you're trying to do shit the right way, niggas like, yeah, you get a couple of people. Yeah, I got niggas in the streets that fuck with me. But when you see some of these other people Instagrams and all the shit that they do to go out their way to ride niggas dicks, and I'm not gonna say no names, but soon as somebody come home, soon as somebody like get into some big scandal, they open up 5 different, stores, and all of a sudden they flying in on
Ooh.
all that type of shit. You know what I'm talking
Ooh.
about. It's like a whole different.
Like don't people throwing shots at me.
It's just a whole different. That's a whole different Baltimore. It's a whole different
It is. It is.
level of support that is kind of funny, but I wouldn't mind. I mean, money wise, but it's just weird to me. Like people really be supporting the bullshit. Like the more bullshit that motherfuckers do,
Well, it's because people are flashy, right? And this is anything with
but
social
they talk,
media, right?
but they
Like
talk about the people after they support.
they
They
do. Like you, I won't say no names either, but people I will support this one person hand over foot and then be passing around the Maryland case search. Like, look, so
It'd be like, I mean,
I,
it's crazy. Like we could just start naming like some of the Baltimore celebrities.
but yeah, we not
Yeah,
gonna do that.
we
But yeah, and I'm sure it happens in
but
other
yeah, like
cities
I said,
too.
I love the support that I get because I know it's genuine, it's real, and I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day who was starting a business, and they was like, "How did you build it?" And in my mind, I'm thinking like it was so organic, but it really was a testament to the relationships and the places I went to school, the people I've known, and relationships that you build over the year. And I was like, you don't realize how much your brand is just you. Like for anybody who's trying to start a business, your
Mm-hmm.
brand is going to be what you've been. So if you consider yourself an introvert and you don't use social media, you don't come out the house, you don't do a whole lot, well, don't expect to have thousands of followers just because you start a business tomorrow. You're going to have to work 10 times harder than the person who does post, the person who does have friends, the person who's in a sorority, who went to this school, who went
Yep.
to that. Like it's an organic following that comes just when you say, I'm starting this, but people really believe in you because you've always stood behind shit you do. There's some people with a lot of followers and people don't pay shit attention to nothing they do because they post anything. So
Well, it's hard to like. I think people are learning too. Like I say it all the time. Like one, nobody's getting rich off
right.
throwing an event, right? Like these little live shows, I'm not getting rich doing this shit. Like my goal is to break even, and that really is the goal. But I like, to your point, we have a good ass time. I like the community. I like meeting the people who listen, who will be emailing me, who DM me, like blah blah blah. Especially the last show, because it was a lot of people I really just did not know who were there. It was a lot of new people, so that was bomb. But it is hard to convert a like to dollars. That is a hard thing. You can like all my bullshit, ratchet, and responsible shit all the time, but you ain't never bought nothing. You ain't brought a ticket, and that's fine. If you just listen to the show, that's still support. But just because you got something thousand followers, right, it's not gonna just convert to money immediately.
Likes do not equal dollars.
That's the biggest thing I've learned.
When you got the right people supporting you, I'll take the right support 1,000 times over, because I know the supporters that I have, they do shit genuine, like buy something and post it. I don't have to put a note in the kit saying, when you receive this, please post to social media. They just do it, and then I get tagged, because sometimes they're not even tagging me. They just posting pictures of them in their Made in Baltimore hat, their beard butter on their sink, whatever. Sometimes it's a bathroom that's a little dirty, so I might not repost it, but it's the whole fact that it's the whole fact that really, like, I appreciate it so much. And people don't know the fear that comes with starting a business. Like, and maybe they do know it. That's why they never get started. But to actually put yourself out there amongst your peers and your friends, and you've never done this, it's a level of fear that you just can't explain. I remember my first day having my launch party, and I launched my business. And I'm like, building up this whole big launch thing. And I'm doing like this blog, and I was doing way too much. And I was like over the top, posting some things, because I'm trying to like build these followers. And like, if I do something really viral, it'll go viral. And I've realized that wasn't going to work. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'm having this launch party, and it's the same night as Jazzy Summer Nights, but Ezekwe has let me, have the space. And, I'm going to Kinko's and get this, pull, step, and repeat, and I'm gonna, have it set up real nice and all of this stuff. But I'm only gonna bring like half of the stuff I have. And having good friends, Nick and Carlton both was like, no, bring everything you got. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't really think it's gonna be that big of a turnout. In my mind, I was downplaying it because I was scared that I was gonna have to carry all that back to the car. So it's like, if I only bring a little bit of shit and it sell out, then it's gonna look real good. But if I got a bunch of shit left, it's gonna look real bad. Needless to say, people bought everything I had, and it gave me the confidence to just keep going, because it's like, you don't know that people gonna want to buy a hat with your logo or your stamp on it. And personally, to see people with, Home Stay and Ratchet this and Boonie Breakdown t-shirts, like, that's my name. Yeah. Like, that's my name. And somebody is wearing that because they fuck with me and what it stands for. And that's just like one of the best feelings. But before you get there, you're saying like, a motherfucker's gonna buy this? Because I've had people say to me like, yo, I'm not wearing no fucking hat with your fucking face on it. And I'm like, that's not me. And they like, nigga, that's you.
It is you.
It's not me. It's every black man whoever wanted to see his image on a bottle or jar on that sink. So yes, it is made in the image of a black man with a beard. But that, I done had niggas tag me talking about, this look like me. Good as you. If you it's you, motherfucker. But at the end of the day, like, it's a scary feeling to put yourself out there, but it's so rewarding personally to know that like you can keep going. Like, I already have in my mind like what I want my next venture to be, but I have no fear of it failing, because I'm like, I know what to do. Now I know what to do. I put myself out there. I cut grass and did shit like that and threw parties. And nothing's worse than throwing a fucking party or having an event and you're just waiting for people to show up. And,
oh God!
Oh my God! Like those 20 minutes like can feel like an hour, and people be like,
"Yeah, you're like,
no, I'm fine." And then the people who come first, you'd be like, "You need a drink." You'd be like treating them so good. You'd be
well, let me say, look, I'm gonna say this too, because Philly, we have a tight schedule. Okay, so we are starting promptly at 5 p.m. It's not no 5:15, 5:20. Baltimore shows I usually be a little lax sometimes because niggas be late. But we are starting promptly at 5 o'clock. So make sure y'all there on time. Yeah. Because y'all know I'm already giving y'all a drink. So your drink will be waiting. Just come the fuck on time. Doors open at 4:30.
Yeah, I need to get there early. I need to get
Yes.
Get out.
Well, look, you always ask me to do an episode where we aren't talking about dicks and pussies. And here you go. So you get to thank people bashing Baltimore this week on social media.
Yeah, it's more to Brian
than dicks and pussies.
I want y'all women to know that we can sit across from each other, have a snowball, and have a great fucking conversation. You're still not getting a steak. You're still not getting a nice dinner. You're going to get a snowball. But you'll have an intellectual conversation. If that's what you wish to have, we can talk about business. We can talk about a lot of things. But we're not going to just talk about dick and pussy. Eventually, it'll come out, and we don't have to talk about it. But, you know, the snowball is good enough and the conversation is good enough. You'll feel the need to, you know, oblige.
There you go. All right. Well, this hour went fast as fuck. So
it did.
Thanks, Brian. And
you're welcome.
Remember his ticket contest giveaway.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So go online or go to one of these little stores and let me know that you have it, and I will pay for the one live ticket for that person who sends me the DM with them wearing their remote operated vibrator, and I have to get the remote while I'm on stage. I won't tell people who you are. We'll keep that private.
Oh my God, I love it. I totally support this. I hope someone takes advantage of it, and you do it August 10th, Philadelphia. I think it's like 25 tickets left when I looked this morning. So you want to go. If you in Jersey, you can come. You in New York, you can drive down. I know some people from Baltimore, DC, they're coming up. So
yeah, I'm trying to get some of my friends to come up. Like, they never come. And
I'm about to text one person in particular because he was supposed to come in June and he didn't. I know how he is about his shit being on social.
Yeah. But I've definitely been telling people, like, yo, y'all gotta come.
Because it's always bitches. It's always women. I don't mean to call y'all bitches, but it's always...
It ain't even about the women, because you know what? With all the talk and all the stuff that goes on, Brian gets no play after these shows. I just want y'all to know that. Y'all
look at him trying to set up for his hotel tonight.
I come to the shows and I be thinking in my mind, like, yeah. And then I leave and I'm like, shit, I ain't get one DM or nothing. Damn, like,
y'all hurting Brian's feelings.
I'm like, damn, like, can somebody just send me a message like, oh, you did a good job, or great job, Brian, you look nice tonight, something.
Slide in the DM. Nothing. You know what's so funny? I went on a little daddy-daughter date with my sister, and my father had on a shirt that said "It goes down in the DM." He had no idea what it meant.
I'm always happy when I post and I look at my story watches and your sister watches. I'm like, oh
God!
I remember when I first started following her, and I used to always mess with you, like I was going to try to mess with your little sister.
You did. I would never forgive you.
That's funny. Yeah. So we are coming to Philly. It's going to be a good time. Baltimore meets Philly. It's going to be dope.
Yeah, we'll see you there, right?
Yep.
Everybody gets a ticket. All right. Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome.
All right, that's it for episode 103 of the Boonie Breakdown podcast. I want to thank Brian for coming out. That was something different for us. It was no assholes, pussies, and dicks. We love our city. We're both from Baltimore, but we are so excited to take the show to Philadelphia. So if you have not gotten your tickets yet, be sure to do that this week. They are starting to dwindle, so we will see you on Saturday, August 10th. And if you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts, or any app that you listen to your favorites on. Don't forget to leave a review too. You might just hear a review on the next episode. Follow us on social media. Share the episode with those you love, those you don't love, those you fucking hate. I don't make those pretty images for nothing, okay? Have a dope ass week. Thank you for listening. And remember, the ratchet in me always honors the ratchet in you. Until next time.